Let us know when.
And it'll pick you up.
Hey, you're good. It's up and running?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. We will call to order this meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Elections. Today is Wednesday, September 18, 2024. We appreciate everybody joining us. We have a couple of housekeeping items to make note of. First of all, this meeting is being live streamed and it's being recorded. Secondly, we would ask if you have any type of an electronic communication device, cell phone, whatever, could you please put it on silent or vibrate? We would appreciate that courtesy. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
We're very pleased to have you here, Judge. We just started the meeting. But if you do have a cell phone, if you could please put it on silent or vibrate. Also note that this meeting was appropriately advertised in accordance with the Sunshine Law. The legal ad appeared within the last few days, noting that this meeting would be taking place. The state law stipulates that every county have what is known as a Board of Elections. And the Board of Elections oversees the work of the Voter Services Office in each county. There's one of these in every courthouse throughout the Commonwealth. Now, the laws that govern elections are passed by the state legislature in Harrisburg. We don't make any rules or laws relating to elections. Those are done in Harrisburg. We carry out those rules and those laws. And so accordingly, the three commissioners serve as the Board of Elections unless any or all of us happen to be running for office in a particular year. Now, this year, none of the three of us are seeking office, so we are serving. But in the years in which we might be running, let's say, for re-election, we are required to step off of the election board. The law stipulates that the president judge, and we happen to have our president judge here this morning, Judge Motto, he will appoint people to serve in a temporary capacity as a member of the election board. But right now, the three commissioners do serve in this role. My colleague is Commissioner Dan Kennedy, who's in his first term. And our third commissioner, Commissioner Chris Sonata, would love to have been here. He's actually out of the county right now representing us at a meeting on county business. So he does send his regrets. We, of course, the primary reason of today's meeting, and I can say it right now, is to honor Mrs. Annette Colucci for her many years of service as a judge of elections in Shannon Township. And from what I've been told, this will be a surprise for her. And we're so anxious. I can see the steps from here. But the legal advertisement stated that this meeting would begin at 11, which we're going to do. We always start our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd please stand, if able. Commissioner Kennedy, could you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. What we will do is we will proceed with our business at hand, but when we see Mrs. Colucci coming, we will stop wherever we are. And Mr. Germaini, along with Jackie Graziani, who works very closely with Mrs. Colucci, they will we will actually officially adopt the proclamation or citation for Mrs. Colucci, but we would like for Mr. Germaini and Mrs. Graziani to make the presentation to Mrs. Colucci. So we'll watch the steps, but we do have to proceed with our business, including a roll call. Ryan, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. So we do have a quorum. As long as two of us are here, we can conduct our business. The law also stipulates that we have to have a public comment period. We actually go above and beyond that. We have 2 periods during the meeting for public comment. You're welcome to ask a question or make a comment either in just a few moments, and then we'll do this before we adjourn. You're welcome to speak both times. You're welcome to speak one of the 2 times, or if you're just here to listen, that's also fine. We do ask that your comments be related to election board matters. If you have any other matters, a state or a local issue, we suggest you go to your appropriate officials for that. But if it's an election board issue, we are certainly happy to hear what comments you might have. Also, if you could try to limit your time to about 5 minutes or so, we would appreciate that. So at this point in time, actually, before I open it up for public comment, Mr. Kennedy, any opening statements on your part? Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, okay. All righty. Well, let's welcome the guest of honor.
Thank you. Grandma, you look so cute. Congrats, surprise. Oh, I love you.
I just want to let everybody know how hard it was to get there.
Instead of 9:30.
I don't know, I don't know if you know, but I'm running for city, or not, county commissioner. Sorry about my life.
Actually, I'm retiring, so they can do it.
Maybe someday.
Now, Mrs. Colucci, you are welcome to sit wherever you would like with your family or whatever you folks prefer. She's welcome to sit up here. Or if you want to sit with her, whatever her preference.
No, I think she should sit.
Thank you. She can sit up there. She can be in the big girl chair.
Love to have her.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lied to you.
It's not the first time. I'm so lucky to have so many beautiful friends.
Thank you.
How long have I been doing this?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is forego for the time being. We were getting ready to do public comment. We're going to put everything else on hold and move down to new business. Now, we'll come back to the other matters that we have to address this morning. But the guest of honor has arrived, and that's the primary reason we're here today. Mrs. Colucci, we're meeting.
Annette. This is Colucci's too old.
Annette?
Enough, but that's too old.
You know Mr. Germaini,
Yes, I know
Tim.
Mr. Jones.
You and I have met before, but I'm Dan Vogler. This is my colleague, Dan Kennedy. And Commissioner Sonata would be here today. He is out of town on county business, and he sends his best. But this is a formal meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Elections. And we do have a few matters to go over. However, the primary reason that we're here today is to honor you. And in a few moments, we're going to vote to adopt a proclamation doing just that. And then we're going to turn it over to Tim and to your dear friend, Jackie, to make some comments. And we've asked them to present the citation or proclamation to you. I do want to recognize, and you saw him on the way in, our president judge was kind enough to come down. Judge Dominic Motto is with us. Your Honor, any comments that you might have this morning?
Well, I would just, first of all, congratulate Annette, if I may, if you prefer, and thank you for all your years of service, and also to thank everybody who serves in terms of helping out with our elections. It's, it's critical to our system of government that people come out and vote, and that we have fair and honest elections. So everybody who participates in this process is certainly doing a very, very necessary, important civic duty. And I thank you all for it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, we thank you, and we know you're a very busy man. You're welcome to stay as long as you're able to.
I'm going to stay through this presentation. Thank you.
We appreciate that so much. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Jim.
We're going to drop down to new business for those of you who might have an agenda in front of you. And this is the adoption of the citation for Mrs. Colucci. She has been helping us and working for the entire community as a judge of elections in Neshannock Township for 43 years. And Judge, you'll appreciate this in particular. Someone put on our table up here an article from November 4, 1981 from the Newcastle News, which would have been your first year, Annette, I believe, as an election worker. And curiously, Judge Motto, the headline was Kayaza wins race for judge. And that was your former colleague, Judge Francis Kayaza.
And the judge that I replaced when he resigned.
That's right. That's correct. And this article is very interesting. It has former District Attorney Bill Piniella, former Sheriff George Sigler, Janet Calajanan, who for many years served as Register and Recorder, and a couple of Newcastle City Council members, Walter Flamino and Nick DeRosa. So whoever gave us this, we thank you for that very much.
You're welcome.
What I'd like to do so that Tim can make and Jackie can make the presentation, and then we want to give Annette an opportunity to make her remarks. I'd like to ask, we have the proclamation is here. I'll see if Nick or if Tim or Jackie would like to read it, but so that we have a record of it. But for us to make it official, we would need a motion to adopt this proclamation or citation at this time.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy, and I will gladly second the motion for the proclamation. Any comments, Commissioner Kennedy?
You know, Neshannock too is where, Tim? I got but
It's St. Knowles.
okay. I grew up in Neshannock Township, and I actually, that was the first place I voted when I turned 18 many years ago. But I moved on to Wilmington. But we thank people like you and that go out and do this every year for us. If it wouldn't be for people like you, we couldn't have a good election. And for this county, that's one thing we could say we've always had a good election, is because of people like you. Not Tim, he doesn't. You know, it actually takes the people on the streets, down on the ground, to get this thing through every time. And we really do thank you. And it's an honor to from my part, to be with you today on a special day with your family. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kennedy. Better than my colleague just did. And just to repeat our appreciation, our heartfelt appreciation for your many, many years of service. And the one story I know about you, and Jackie reminds me of this, one of Jackie's major roles is to get all of the materials and supplies ready for the poll workers to come in a few days in advance of election day to pick up. And from my understanding, you are always first, always.
7:30.
The first one to arrive here. And that again, to repeat what Mr. Kennedy said, we cannot thank you enough. So you've made the motion, I've offered the second to adopt this proclamation. Could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. The proclamation has been adopted. I'm going to give it to Mr. Germaini and ask Jackie to come up. The two of you would like to read it into the record and then present it to Annette, please. And then we'll ask Annette to make some comments. And then after her comments, we'll open it up in case you folks have anything you'd like to say. So Tim and Jackie, we'll turn it over to you. Oh, and forgive me, Judge, would you like to come up front?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Are you sure?
No, I get tired of sitting up there.
Thank you, Judge.
Annette Colucci has been a Neshannock 2 poll worker for 43 years, beginning in 1981 to 2024. She has been reliable and dependable through her years at her position. All of Annette's life family has been important to her. She loves to cook on Sunday for dinner, passing down her Italian traditions. She also enjoys meeting her daughter-in-law and granddaughters every Sunday at Joseph's for coffee, while meeting friends weekly at McDonald's for socializing. She also enjoys shopping with her son and grandson. The Lawrence County Commissioners thank and congratulate Annette for her valuable service and commitment to the voters of Lawrence County, and continue to wish her success for a lifetime. Thank you, Darrell.
Tim,
Yes, sir.
would you or Jackie or both wish to make any remarks before we ask Annette to speak?
Everybody that said anything here just took the words right out of my mouth.
People like this make my job easy.
Yes.
Because she's the best.
Jackson, would you present it to her?
Can you push the little button on her microphone,
certainly can.
please, so the light will come on? And then would you care to make some comments?
Well, it's all Judge Gallaz's fault if I'm still here. My husband built his home, and I was visiting the new home, and he said, "You're gonna work the polls." And I said, I can't, my son's still in school, I can't do it. And my mother was still alive, and I had my mother do it. And I've been there ever, and it's his fault. But it's been an honor, it's been a privilege, it's my country. It's my county. And I love it.
Thank you.
I love everything. My fellow workers. We go back so far. My workers now, all my friends. I didn't see Muriel back there, did I? I don't know what to say. I'm just at all. It's just beautiful. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Very welcome.
Thank you for having faith in me.
Well,
At 87, I hope you're. Thank you so much. This has been such an honor. I am so honored.
it's a well-deserved honor, and we appreciate it.
I enjoyed it. And I know all my workers have been so wonderful. It's very dependable. And I know everybody in the precinct,
Right.
so I tell them where to go. And I stand at the door, you go over there, you go over here, you go. But it's been a joy, and I'm happy about it. And I wish I could go on. At 87, I have to call it quits.
Yeah.
So thank you again so
Yes, ma'am.
much, and I appreciate this.
Yes, ma'am. Would anyone in the audience wish to make any comments or remarks?
I'll take it away. I'm always a chatter.
Forgive me, but for the record, we would ask you to state your name so that we have a record of it. Thank you for that courtesy.
Yeah, of course. My name's Gabriella Colucci. I'm Annette's granddaughter. And I just want to say that I love you. I'm proud of you. And you are always such a great role model to not only me and Tori, but everyone around us. You always are kind and willing to do anything for anyone. And it shows. So I love you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Sharon Glenn, and I'm one of the McDonald's people that go and have coffee every day at 3 o'clock. And Annette, you are the best. You're the best friend I could ever have. You're always concerned about everybody else. No matter how you feel or whatever, you always are concerned about everyone, and I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Carol Ross, and Annette, it's not only a joy for you, It's been a joy for us working for you. Annette has food there that will last 2 days. We never have to leave. It's a good time working there with her. So thank you, Annette.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wish to? Yes, sir, Mr. Colucci.
Obviously, that's my mom up there, who's been, just probably the best mom anybody could ever ask for. But obviously I told everybody that I kind of told a tall tale getting here, but all of you folks that are here are very important to her. And the reason why we call them here, Mom, is because they are like our family. Okay. And what you've done, I'm super, super proud of you. I appreciate you being a good mother, a good grandmother, a good friend. You've raised my kids for me, and I have a wonderful son, 3 beautiful daughters, and a great wife. So we owe a lot of this success to you. And what you've done for our country for 43 years is amazing. So you should be very, very proud of yourself for it. I'm proud of you. I'm sure these other folks are very proud of you too.
Teasing on each other.
He's your favorite son.
Yeah. And he doesn't have to fight with brothers and sisters.
Mr. Colucci, please.
And thank you for what you do for our community, for our county. And this has been a great honor. Thank you. Thank you. And she does. She works really hard. She, it's trying on her right now because she is a little bit older and moving around. But listen, if she could do it, she would stay.
I was hoping for 90. I really was. But I can't do it anymore.
And we understand.
Jackie, I have one question for you. Did you get one of them that's fill in for the polls? Granddaughters and see if they can be.
We
grandmas.
post it here and there, yeah.
Oh, she sucks you right in. Good job, Grandma.
I'm proud of them all. All 3 of them. There's my grandson.
Again, Mr. Colucci, thank you. Would anyone else wish to make a comment? Well, we certainly appreciate all of you joining us. And are there refreshments on?
Coffee.
Coffee, a cake and coffee?
Cake and coffee.
Now, Mr. Kennedy and I still have some business to conduct. We can do this one of 2 ways. I think in the interest of your schedules, we could probably have folks start the cake and coffee,
Yes.
so we don't hold you folks up. Now, that being said, you're very welcome to stay for the rest of the public meeting, which shouldn't be that long. So whatever you prefer. It would not be rude at all if you just wanted to go out and start now, or if you'd like to sit and see the rest of the business that we conduct. Shouldn't take long. So I was coming back to public comment. And once again, Judge Motto, we know you're a very busy man. It was very kind of you to come down.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I did feel it was important to be here, show my appreciation for
Thank
that
you
and
very
everybody
much.
who assists with that. If we have as long as I've been involved with elections in Lawrence County, and I've been here for 30 years as a judge, so we've always had fair elections. They've always gone off without a hitch, and that's because of all the dedication of all of you in this room and that in particular. So thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll be honest with you, I don't mean to disrespect you, but if we could leave, only reason, you're more than welcome to be invited. I do have lunch for her at Egley's.
Oh, how
So that's
nice.
the only reason why I would say, if you, please, don't take it personal, but if we keep moving, if you're more than welcome, you're more welcome.
You're very kind, and we understand the time constraints. And incidentally, very quickly, Judge Motto has something in common with you. He's retiring at the end of the year. Now, by law, he has to retire because he's turning 75 or has turned 75. But his hope is that he'll be able to serve as a senior judge. So the good news is we'll still have Judge Motto with us. But again, it was thoughtful of him. No, if you folks want to get all packed up and head up to Pegley's, we certainly understand. We can't thank you all enough.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you very much. But we'll have to continue our business, but please, we understand. But thank you all for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Don't be a stranger to
John knows me.
I'm John Master. I thought you were Master. It used to be just this, now I have this too.
Every time I see you, I just love you. Wonderful.
Thank you. I'm gonna tell my mother that, so be sick of it.
Thank you. You could go eat dinner with us? Good. I'm gonna show
Please give her.
I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna guess. Right, you bring donuts down, we have donuts.
Oh, you should. And I'll see you at McDonald's when I take my daughter there. Didn't I see her last time? Uh-huh.
3 o'clock. Discussing politics, what's going on. Everything is done. That's all. I'm gonna try to
Check the dam.
She is.
Oh, yeah. Demolition. Hopefully it's like spring. We shall see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to.
Thank you.
Wow. You did.
That's great. Thank you.
You do have a beautiful family.
I didn't get to meet you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
I'm the oldest.
Yeah, just graduated.
27, 25.
She just graduated.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice to meet you.
my pleasure.
Nice to meet you. You're
This is fine.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. You want to?
For being here.
Yeah, thank you. Want to sit down or you?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Ryan, how are you?
Yeah, that's okay, no worries at all. Here, Grandma. Yeah, give me this.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna do a picture.
Yeah, I do.
Slow down and enjoy life. You know, these things.
Tim, we won't keep you much longer.
You're fine. If you look good for a while.
Lucky you, I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dad, I want to get pictures of them quickly. I'm holding everyone hostage.
You know Mr. Buck? This is Tim Buck, he's the chair of the Democratic Party.
I wanted to run when I was younger. I think I would do a really, really good job, based on the,
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, this was wonderful.
And you could
What a legacy.
Well, what am I gonna do? She was here before me to get her supplies. I'd be right now. I better go hurry up.
Bill Frazier,
nice guy.
and then I worked for Bobby Stackhouse.
So witty.
I was I ran into Al at auction.
I was gonna push for some 90, but I just can't.
This is my wife.
And we just met, yes.
So I started my life out. If you go up in my office.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you, Annette.
Bill Frazier, and Morrison.
It was a big surprise. Thank you.
Thank you, young lady.
That was a gentle lady. Thank you. Oh, that's made my day.
Debbie, we're basically gonna get an update.
You got a
Thank you,
beautiful family.
Thank you.
Tim's gonna give an update, so that's probably all that we're.
Yeah, that's about it. I don't think-
You're welcome to stay, but if you have.
We already have.
Yeah, unless you want stats, I got, did I give them to you? I did give them to you. That's it.
I learned a lot about pharmacists. I just
Okay,
had
that's
surgery, and they've been playing with my
We can
meds
actually
like crazy.
recess.
There we go.
Oh.
I'm a Rite Aid in New Wilmington getting different blood pressure.
They did that.
Thank you, sir.
You have a good day.
Thank you. So that's my.
Just real estate.
Thank you, you're very welcome.
No, she's got
Congratulations.
it.
I'm gonna be walking. Hi, sorry, sweetheart.
Right.
Hey, Graham, we're gonna take pictures with everyone.
Well, we left with Tim.
Okay,
Could be worse, right, Tim? Always be worse.
well, let's reconvene. We actually did not recess, so, but we will reconvene. This was wonderful, and Tim, thank you and your staff for putting everything together.
I have to thank, her friend Vicky that approached us.
Oh, okay.
She's the one that got the ball rolling.
That's wonderful.
Wasn't all my idea.
Wonderful.
I can't take
You know,
credit
that
for
you and your staff put a lot of work into it. We were at the point where we were opening it up for public comment. Most of the folks have left, but we do have one member of the public. Mr. Buck, any comments this morning?
No, sir, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, before we adjourn, we'll reopen for that purpose. Thank you. In our packet, and this document's available if anybody wishes to see it, we have the minutes of the last election board meeting, which took place on August 22 of this year. Mr. Kennedy, I'll give you whatever time you might need to look them over, and whenever you're ready, I can take a motion for us to approve.
I'll make that motion myself.
Okay. I thank you, and, excuse me. I'm sorry, I'll second your motion, Dan. Do you have any concerns about the minutes?
No.
Thank you. So that being said, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Takes us down to the election director's report. Mr. Germaini, I think you have maybe some updated information for us.
I do, and I have actually good news. I got official candidates list certified by the state. There are 3 pending court cases have been resolved, and they cut the candidates list loose yesterday. I am in the process of proofing the ballot, getting it ready for testing, because I'll have to do some LNA testing, which of course the chairs of the party are invited to that. Mhm. And I don't have a date just yet, but it's tentatively at the end of September is when I'm hoping I get it, depending on when the printers get me the test deck. And then once I get that going with the LNA test and everything's running smooth, then I will go get the mail-in ballots printed and get them sent out. I'm in the process of doing what they call UMOVA ballots for people overseas, military, stuff like that. Those are going out right now. Those are electronic. I email those and then they mail them back to me. That's the way the Justice Department has it set up for that. So we're doing that right now. And so far, everything's running smooth and as a go. No polling place changes. We're getting ready.
Can you refresh my bad memory? What does LNA stand for?
Logic and accuracy test.
Thank you.
But it's basically, simply put, I have a predetermined election where the ballots are voted in a certain pattern. When I vote it out throughout all the machines, make sure everything's running good, I put the results in, predetermined result that the computer generates, and then I match it up to what is on the ballots and what was voted, and then we go from there.
And you may have said this, forgive me.
Mhm.
Is this the test that you are obligated to put a legal ad in the paper for? There's one of the ones you have to put.
That's the public test
Okay,
that I am, but I put it in the papers and announce that we are doing an LNA, so.
okay.
Yeah.
And as you said, you'd notify
Yes.
both Mr. Buck and Mrs. Ryan.
That is not, unfortunately, it's not like a public thing for everybody to come and see, but we do the public test the Friday before the election, where you can come here and witness where we run the central count machines. And I give a little lesson on the 200s, on the DS200, but the optical scanners at the poll and an express vote, which is the ADA model. How to use those.
Thank you for that. You have more to share with us?
Just that right now, I could get a report on Monday about how many requests I have for mail-in ballots and absentee ballots. At Monday, I was at 6,830. Sure, it's up a little bit more since then, but that's what I had on Monday. Republicans requested 2,288 to Democrats requesting 4,042. And then there's other parties in here, of course, but the remainder is what the off parties asked for. To just highlight 4 years ago, when this was fresh and new, the mail-in ballot thing, we had 13,225 requests at that time. So I only had this figure to go by, like for ordering. So we're halfway there. I don't anticipate seeing anywhere near 13,000. That's just my educated guess, but you know, we have another month to go. So
Of course, that was a COVID year.
that was a COVID year. That's
A lot of people were
had a
not
lot
able
to
to
do
go
with
on.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
yes, yeah. And with that being said, last day for you to apply for a mail-in ballot is October 29th. Last day to register to vote or make any changes is October 21st. So we still have a ways to go, but I don't see 6,000 for it. But we'll see.
Okay.
I'm prepared for it, put it that way.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Jermaine?
Maybe I can just give you guys a quick voter. Let's see, right now we got 57,069 registered voters in the county. That was of Monday, with the Democratic Party at 20,769, the Republican Party at 29,046, and then the number 3 is no affiliation at 5,195.
Thank you.
So I did a report, I'm gonna throw this out. I showed you that report from 2004 general election. It was actually reversed as far as party wise. Democrats were participating voters in that election. Democrats were at 23,641, so Republicans at 16,924. So it was as of right now, there's a 30% difference in 2024. Back then in 2004, it was exactly a 30% difference. So I thought was interesting that it's been that turnaround.
Well,
Reasons why, I don't know, but
well, there's probably many, and you know, it's interesting, the history of this county for many, many decades. This was a Republican county, and then right around the early 70s, it switched over. and the Democratic Party became the majority party all the way through just within the last 4 or 5 years. So it's cyclical.
Yes,
These
it
things
is.
come and go.
But I thought it was interesting, and I just thought I'd point that out.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Let me see if Mr. Kennedy has any questions for you. No questions, Dan? Okay, thank you. And I don't have any specifically towards your report, and we've handled the new business of our presentation to Mrs. Colucci. Before I take public comment, you don't have a desire or a need right now for us to have a meeting in the near future, unless something were to come up. right?
Nothing that I can foresee.
Okay, so you don't have an announcement as far as when we're gonna meet again?
No.
You don't know when?
I don't.
Okay. Obviously, when that time comes, we'll put it in the newspaper as we're required to. We'll probably announce it at a commissioners meeting, and we'll let the two party chairs know
Absolutely.
when we reconvene. Public comment. Once again, Mr. Buck, any concerns?
Just one question, make sure the stance is clear for everybody. If you're doing a mail-in ballot and you sign it and don't date it, where are we at on that?
We're slippery on that.
Yeah.
It's under appeal as of right now. They said that we need to count those ballots that are not dated. But you have to have it signed, of course, but at the date, but it's under appeal.
Wait a minute, I thought the Supreme Court just ruled and said that they overturned the Commonwealth Court ruling
When did that happen?
just within the last few days.
Last couple of days.
Is that your understanding?
That was my
Dan,
understanding too.
Okay,
my understanding, it was a 4-3 vote, or maybe a 4-2 vote, and it overruled the Commonwealth Court, which said that we had to count either the undated or the ones that had an incorrect date. The Commonwealth
Yeah.
Court said we had to count.
yes.
My understanding is the Supreme Court overturned that, so now we're obligated to set them aside and not count them.
Just like-
Is that your understanding?
That was my understanding, and the reason I was asking in case there was something you've heard moving in another direction.
No, I did not.
And,
The only thing they stated to me was to continue what I do, which is segregate the ballots.
Right,
And give the courtesy call to cure them.
right.
And then if they said nothing changed that way.
Could you consult with Mr. Madore?
I certainly, will. Thank you.
Thank
So-
you very
So
much.
the next question, if I may.
Yes.
Certainly.
So you mentioned the word the curing of it, a courtesy call to have them come in and date it with the Supreme Court ruling. Is that still valid there, that you would give them a courtesy?
I think what we would rely upon is for our solicitor to review the court ruling to see what the specific language is and take his direction from his interpretation of the ruling. If it's silent, if that court ruling did not address the opportunity for people to correct, that's been our procedure, to allow people to come and make those corrections.
Yes.
Let's face it, when you go to vote in person, if you make a mistake, it's correctable. So I think our approach has been that that's only fair, that, now, some counties are doing it differently. It's varying from county to
Yeah.
county,
I
but
wish they would make it standard.
I do
It's
too.
not.
But we'll consult with Mr.
Yes,
Madore.
we will.
So if you could ask him a couple of those
I will.
questions.
I will.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Mr. Buck, appreciate it. Are there any other public comments? Before we adjourn, let me see if my colleague, Mr. Kennedy, has anything else to add. Okay, thank you, Dan. Tim or Ryan, anything we've missed, to your knowledge?
No, sir.
So what we will do is we will adjourn this meeting, but then when the time comes that we have to meet again, we don't know that date just now, but when that happens, as I mentioned earlier, we'll do the appropriate legal ad. We'll announce it at commissioners' meetings, and we'll let the two party chairs, we'll make them aware of when that meeting takes place.
Then I'll let you know about what you asked.
Thank you. You do a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Tim. There being no other business, and please, once again, thank you so much for pulling this together.
Sure,
This was delightful.
Well, like I said, I can't take all the credit for it. It was her friend.
So nice.
Yes.
So, and as Dan said, some days aren't good up here. Some days are challenging, but this was a good day. Yeah. So thanks, Dan. May I please have an adjournment motion?
I'll make that motion.
I will second your motion. The motion has been made to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. Mr. Bordenaro is going to turn off the computer. And Tim, good to see you, sir.